Neighbors are being very loud. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Full Blast. I'm your host, Raja Burrows, and I just wanted to do just a real simple, back to basics, beginnerish type video. Um, because here's the thing, I love the self growth shit. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. The whole reason that I have stayed in the OP community is for the self growth. That's what we're here. That's what I'm here for. You can be here for whatever you want to be here for. That's why I'm here. That's where I think that the real value of objective personality lies. But in order to really maximize and understand the personal growth side of it, there are some fundamentals that you absolutely 100% must have. And if you don't have these fundamentals, then all of the self-growth work you're trying to do will not be nearly as effective. Now, the reason that I say that like these are the fundamentals to focus on is that this shit works even if you type yourself upside down. So one of the big controversies, I don't know, one of the things that people are hesitant about, right, when it comes to objective personality and, well, what if everybody types themselves wrong, well, then do I need to do what I'm doing and then flip it? But what if I'm right? Blah, 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 blah. No. You're fine. You're good. Doesn't fucking matter. Because what we're looking for and what we are trying to track is just balance. That is it. That's all we're trying to do here, is we're just trying to balance everything out. That's it. So, one thing, again, that I've spoken about a lot, that Dave and Shannon have spoken about a lot, even more than the human needs, we're talking about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Growth versus fixed trumps everything. Everything. You could know nothing about objective personality and still crush it in life, just understanding growth mindset versus fixed mindset. What I love about objective personality, why I've stuck with it for as long as I have, is because objective personality provides the clearest roadmap I have ever seen to get somebody from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Enneagram does a good job of it. Absolutely. I'm not a big Enneagram guy. I think it's a little convoluted for my taste. The number 9 is just weird to me. Again, I get it. The math of it makes sense. And if you have 3 things going in 3 different directions, 3 times 3 is 9. Totally get it. But I think that it is a lot easier to track simple binary coins rather than here's where I am in the middle. This is what I'm moving towards. This is what I'm moving away from. Right? I think that there are a lot of similar principles at play. I just think that OP does it in a clearer and more trackable way, which is why I like it. So I wanted to talk about the difference between functions and animals, because if you understand this difference, you can apply the math of it to everything. Everything. Because at its core, objective personality is just taking 9 coins and then flipping them heads or tails and doing that 9 times, and then we get 512. That's it. That's the whole game. It's just 2 to the 9th, 1 coin at a time. And so the difference between, the reason I love this idea of functions versus animals is because that's where we start to see the clearest combination of these coins working together. You're like, oh, right. I see how we get from 1 to 2 to 4. Got it. That makes sense to me. So, what is a function? I am not a Jungian expert. I'm not a Jungian expert. I'm not going to get super into like, what is a cognitive function? That was my Jung voice. That was a terrible Jung voice. But for the purposes of objective personality, a function is, I think of it as half of an animal. So to me, animals are king. The animals trump. A function is just a way of talking about a particular human need. So the 4 human needs are certainty, uncertainty, connection, and significance. Those are Tony Robbins' definitions. That's what he uses. In OP, we talk about new versus known. Again, sort of like uncertainty versus certainty. We talk about tribe connection, personal importance, whatever, right? But those are the 4. You have your introverted observer, which is your introverted intuition or introverted sensing. Again, everybody has one or the other. And introverted intuition or introverted sensing is a manifestation of, an expression of, the human need of certainty, predictability, known information that all of us have as humans. The extroverted observer, our OE, is the opposite, right? So everybody has one N function and one S function, and they're always opposing. So you can't have NE and SE, right? You can't have extroverted intuition and extroverted sensing. That is not how this works. If you have extroverted intuition, NE, then you have introverted sensing, SI. If you have extroverted sensing, SE, then you have introverted intuition, NI. So the extroverted observers, the NE and your SE, they are responsible for uncertainty, gathering, mixing it up, breaking away from what is known and predictable. Everybody has both of these human needs. What makes up somebody's function stack is where it lies in their function stack, right? So like I am an IJ. My lead function is introverted intuition, or NI. That means that my primary human need is the need for certainty, for settledness, to feel a sense of control, a sense of context, understanding. I know where this is going, right? So if I have that first, that means that my last function is going to be my extroverted sensing, SE, which wants to throw a monkey wrench into all of my brilliant plans. So that's how, and again, you could have them in the middle. You can have SE first and NI last. You could have NE first and SI last, SI first and NE last, again, or in the middle. But that's right. It can be anywhere it is. But just know that everybody has one intuitive function that's either introverted or extroverted, and one sensing function that is the opposite orientation, introverted or extroverted. Then you have the deciders. The deciders are your T and your F. Now, your deciders are responsible for the other 2 human needs of connection and significance. Your DE, extroverted decider, which is either TE or FE, is responsible for fulfilling the human need of connection, connecting to others. Joe Rogan puts it really well in one of his stand-ups. He's like, humans are fucking weird because we're selfish assholes, but like we need each other. Like we are biologically wired to need each other. I'm like, yeah, that is actually kind of fucking weird. You got it, Joe. You absolutely got it. So, that's what the DE, either your TE or your FE, is responsible for. The difference between T and F is it's wondering, okay, so how am I going to connect with people? What is my primary way of connecting with others? Is it going to be through logic, making things work? Like when I think of TE, I think of policies and procedures, uh, rules that everyone has to follow, right? Maybe the rules part is more of the OI, but like the justification for the rules is like, well, because we need this to work in this way and this needs to work in this way and let's bang the blocks together, and in order for all the machines to run, then everybody has to abide by these rules for these reasons, right? So the analogy I like for DE is, okay, so there's a rule in offices: you're never ever supposed to microwave fish. That's just a rule. I don't know if it is an unspoken rule at this point still, or if it's an official rule, but that's just like a thing you should know not to do. The TE, the extroverted thinkers, are going to go, well, you can't microwave the fish because it impacts productivity, and it smells up the whole place, and reason. Whereas FE, extroverted feeling, is anecdotally more likely to be like, well, you shouldn't microwave fish in the microwave because it reduces morale, and then other people are going to be upset, and we're all trying to maintain this like vibe and like this being together, and we all have to share this space, and we all need to respect each other, and that's, it's not that TE can't do that, but TE is using a workaround of reasons to get to the FE, right? So when it comes to TE versus FE, they're both, I think it's very easy to get caught up in, okay, well, do I have TE or do I have FE? And if I pick it wrong, then what am I going to do? Doesn't matter. If you focus on the human need of connecting with others, doing things for other people, thinking about the group as a whole above yourself, that'll get you 90% of the way there. The T versus the F is like, it's whatever, kind of. Now, and I say all of this in the context of, I want this to be a very beginner friendly video. I want this to be something where if you're like, I'm pretty new to OP, there's a lot of terms and a lot of letters and a lot of, oh, fuck, right? Then if you're just starting out on your OP journey, fucking forget about the letters. If you're just like, I need to start to wade into this, think about it as extroverted decider, right? And I think that, I know that there is the rhetoric of, well, we can't see each other, we can't see ourselves clearly, we can only see other people clearly, and this and that. If you start to track your behavior and start to track, like, this is what I did, and like, oh, I did this thing for, Jessica, and I did this thing for Amanda, and I did this thing for Susan, I did this thing for Dawn, I did this thing for, Jerry. Oh, and it's only noon, right? If you actually start to write it down and track it, you can be like, oh shit, I am doing a lot of things for other people, huh? Right? So that is a good indicator. Again, you have to track it over time. Maybe you're just having a very generous day, but that's a good signal. You're like, okay, I think if I do this multiple days in a row, if this is my default pattern, just doing shit for other people all the time, um, yeah, then I'm probably have savior DE. And on the flip side, when we have our DI, our introverted decider, TI or FI, that is the opposite. That is looking for, it's called significance. I think this can get really nebulous because it's very easy for it to tip into like ego. But then you have someone like Kanye West who is doubling up on his savior feminine TE as a blast play, who is debatably one of the most egomaniacal people in popular culture, right? So again, there's a lot of phrasing, but when it comes to the human need, it's the, I love the way that Shan puts it. It's the, well, who says, well, me, I decided that I like this, and fuck you if you disagree. I say that this is the thing I want to do. And I say that this is the thing that we should do. And I say that this is the thing that I like, or that makes sense to me, or that I want to work on, or that I want to do, whatever, right? That's all the DI, the TI, or the FI doing its thing. So, much in the same way that TE and FE are more concerned with getting the whole tribe on board and using reasons as a tactic or values as a tactic, the TI and the FI are doing the same thing except turned inward, right? So I have FI, right? My feeling function, the function that is responsible for values in general, is introverted, which means I am harder to sway when it comes to personal values. Like if I have decided with my decider, my FI, that I like something, that something matters, it is a motherfucker to get me to change my mind. Not impossible, but oh, buddy, it is difficult. It is difficult. Because when it comes to the introverted decider, now it's like, in order to get me to change, the outside world has to prove to me subjectively that I am wrong. And when it comes to your DI, I think you have decided that's really hard to do. And with the TI, it's like, this is what I have worked out in my own head. This is what logically makes sense to me, right? The analogy I've seen is they're talking about ISTPs in this particular instance, but it's like if you ever open up a watch and you have like 1,000 different gears of different sizes and different ways. You know what? I think it's actually on one of Dave's old videos when he was talking about the ISTP. That's where I got this from. Full circle. Hashtag full circle. But that's what TI is like. Oh my God, here are all these puzzle pieces. Okay, like this logic block goes here, and if this logically connects to this, and then this logically connects to this, and it's just creating this intricate web of logic and reasons and ethics. I know is a way that has been described, right? Like TI is more about ethics and like what is logically consistent internally, whereas morals is about what's logically consistent, what's like emotionally consistent. Again, getting messy with the terms, that's not the point of this. The point of this is when we're talking about our introverted decider, it's incredibly personal, and it's the sort of thing where the outside world does not have the authority. Now, if you have DI as a demon, like I do, I will give the outside world authority in general, But when it comes to the stuff that I like and that matters to me and that my identity is attached to, no, fuck you. Like fuck the whole outside world. That's me. Like this is my world. There's a great musical. It's called The Last 5 Years. Fucking brilliant, heartbreaking, amazing musical by a guy named Jason Robert Brown. And the very short synopsis of this is it's about a writer and his girlfriend who becomes his wife, and then the start of the relationship and the end of the relationship, and it's told like in crossing narrative. It's so fucking cool. Like my NI brain is just like, it's amazing. But there's a great song called Nobody Needs to Know. And so Kathy, the obviously the woman, right? So there's Kathy and Jamie. Kathy is the wife slash girlfriend. Jamie is the boyfriend slash husband. And Kathy, musical theater actress, hardcore EJ. EJ to hell. Like FENE double feminine fucking cuckoo banana pants EJ. And Jamie is she's like a play blast EJ, and I don't quite know what his type would be, but I know that he's in the sleep consume kind of realm. He's in the sleep consume kind of realm. I want to say that he's like an NIFI IJ, something like that. But there's a song called Nobody Needs to Know. And then, you know what? Let's see if I can find the lyric, because it's just a great nobody needs to know lyrics. Here we go. Okay. All that I ask for is one little corner, one private room at the back of my heart. Tell her I found one. She sends out battalions to claim it and blow it apart. If that isn't Savior DI to hell, then I don't know what is. And that's really that's what DI is all about. It's like what is the private room in the back of my heart that is for me, that is introverted, it's personal, my identity is attached to it, and that the last thing in the universe that I want to happen to it is for somebody to, it's like, hey, listen, here's this thing that I'm feeling. And for somebody, some DE lead EJ to be like, oh my God, that sounds terrible. How can I fix your problem? And you're like, holy fuck. No, that is not what I want. That is not what I am looking for at all. I'm just trying to like share my owies with you. I don't need you to fucking fix it. You're not the authority here. I am the authority when it comes to my DI. So all of these put together, right? So let's take away all of the individual letters, right? The T and the F and the N and the F. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. For our purposes, we're just talking about DE, which is either TE or FE, DI, TI or FI, OE, NE or SE, and OI, SI or NI, right? You have two introverted functions, two extroverted functions, one extroverted decider, and one introverted decider, right? So you get all the four math, right? So like in my case, I have NISE and FI and TE. Those are my four. So the animals are just smashing those two together. And there are four different combinations when you smash an observer and a decider function together, they create an animal. That's it. So when you have DE and OI, you get blast, which is what I am doing now. I am blasting, I am teaching, I am speaking and communicating in a way for the purposes of other people understanding me, validating me, whatever. And I'm doing so in a way that is communicating my known information, right? All the shit that I know about personal growth and objective personality, I'm telling it to you right now. This is me, like, this is probably one of the blastiest videos I've ever done. Usually these videos are a little bit more on the sleep side, just the nature of how we're doing it, because the blast realm is kind of taken care of in the class and on their YouTube channel. But I want to do like a pure blasty video. We're blasted. When you have DE and OE, right, your extroverted decider and your extroverted observer, you get play. Play is a weird one because, everybody can play and yes, everybody can do everything. But what is the play animal doing? Well, if we're smashing together functions, really all that we're smashing together are human needs. So in the case of Blast, I'm smashing together my human need of external validation, right? Feeling heard, feeling listened to, right? And the other human need of certainty. I know what I'm talking about. This is information that I know. I'm not really discovering anything on the fly. Here's the thing. These are analogies that I already know. Like, I'm not making up new analogies. It's, oh right. Yes, right. Oh my God. Of course nobody needs to know one private room in the back of my heart. Right, that relates to this and that relates to the right. But that's all shit that I already know, and I've used that analogy a million times before. Same with the watch thing and the little gears, right? This is all known information to me that I am communicating. So I'm fulfilling two human needs at once. So with play, we're fulfilling the human need of tribe interaction, tribe validation, tribe connection, and the human need of uncertainty. The part of the human psyche that just that it needs variety. It needs new. It needs novelty. We need to not know how the game is going to end. Otherwise, we're not going to want to play, right? And it's very much so. I think of improv comedy is, to me, one of, if not the purest forms of play. More so than sports. It's really, I think that sports have a lot at the highest levels. When we're talking about Pop Warner, yes, now we're playing. But once you start to take sport seriously and you start really training, really honing your technique, honing your body, honing your nutrition, and trying to perform at the highest possible levels, that takes it out of the play realm, right? If you are a competitive professional athlete, you want as little certainty as possible based on how good you are, right? So the better you are, the less certainty you want. Or sorry, the better you are, the more certainty you want, and the less uncertainty or randomness you want. Right? If you watch golfers, yes, all of those guys, kind of anybody can win it on any given week at this point, because it's not 1998 anymore, and Tiger Woods isn't miles better than fucking everybody else. But even all those guys, their goal is just brutal consistency. They need to hit the same perfect shot every single time when possible. So play is really think of, if you've ever seen an improv show, there is certainly technique to improv, but it's so much about listening, reacting. I take the ball, I throw the ball. Somebody else catches the ball. They throw it to somebody else, and then that other person takes it and throws it to somebody else. And you have to be engaged, you have to be present, you have to be watching in order to do the back and forth thing. The I love the anecdote, and I have a good friend of mine is lead sleep. I adore her. And the, just the visual is so amusing to me. The It's like play wants to throw the ball at somebody, and if you don't have savior play, you're just gonna let the ball hit you in the head and then be annoyed and then move on. Just I don't know why I find that so with if you knew my friend, like she's very sweet and like she's not a horrible, mean, malicious person by any stretch. But like we all know these people. We all work with these people who are just like, I show up, I do my work, don't talk to me unless you need me for work, which I am doing. Like you're needing me for work fits into my, my OI and DI box. If you need me for that, happy to help. But don't you dare throw a fucking ball at my head. Do not hit me with chaos. Do not hit me with anything I'm not expecting because I don't want to fucking deal with it. Whereas play just loses its fucking mind with too much routine. So I'm a glass lizard. I'm a weirdo. So I have my lead function is OI, but I'm doubling up on my play energy. So I'm just kind of a mess. It's great. It's fine. We're working through it, living this thing called life. But when I'm in play mode, oh my God, all I want to do is I'm like, all right, we got a ball. Let's throw this energy ball back and forth. And you say a thing, then I'll say a thing, and then, ooh, you said this thing. I'm gonna set up for you to say another thing, and then you heighten it, and then I'm gonna drop a punchline, and then everybody's gonna laugh, and it's gonna be hysterical and fun, and no one's gonna see it coming, and it's whatever, right? That's play, right? Play is going. It's not just going to parties, but it's that kind of when you're going to a party and you're like, I don't know, I'm going to meet some new people. I'm going to have some conversations I wasn't expecting to have, eat some food I wasn't expecting. Who knows where the night will turn out, but I'm here with my friends and we're doing the thing, right? That's play energy, right? It is seeking to fulfill the human need of connection to fellow tribe members and uncertainty, the human need of uncertain. I emphasize this because as an IJ, like that's so fucking anathema to me to be like, I need uncertain. Nope, does not compute. But that's true, right? It is a human need. We all need certainty and uncertainty. We need both of these things. Then we have consume. Consume is when we pair the human need of uncertainty with the need for significance. So in traditional Myers-Briggs, all IJs and all EJs are lead blasters. And all EPs and IPs are lead consume. In objective personality, you can have jumpers, so you can have two introverted savior functions or two extroverted savior functions. So consume is, again, this is one of the more balanced animals because we're matching an external human need with an internal human need, which creates the consume. So, when we're doing the consuming, it's I want new, I want something that I've never seen before. I don't need other people to be on board or not, but I need to have never seen it before. It needs to be interesting to me. It needs to be something that I want to spend my time and energy on. The idea of getting external validation from it is non-existent. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to do me. just trying to do me, bruh. And I'm trying to do me by gathering in new information, new ideas, new experiences, anything that I haven't seen before, right? So again, we're just marrying two human needs to create an animal. So in my case, my consume is a daemon, right? Both of my daemon functions, my SE and my FI, those are both my demons, which is why I like blasting so much, because I'm doing this in a savior state. Real obvious to me, very easy to me. And then I have to go to a different place if I want to do consume. It's like, oh, yeah, consume. All right, let's get demonic. Like, let's fucking go. But if you're a lead consume, you're like, yeah, I don't understand the big deal. I'm just like, it's sort of the dichotomy between the people on social media who lurk and those who post. So I used to post a lot more. I don't post as much anymore, but like I'm still pretty active on Facebook in particular. And it's me like sharing ideas, sharing this thing. Like, hey, here's this thing that is familiar to me. Let me tell you about it. Right. On Instagram, I consume because I'm like, I am not like, I'll blast a little bit, but it's not my medium. I'm not a visual guy. I'm not a big picture person. Like, I'll do the occasional like douchey bicep selfie because it makes me happy, but that's not like it's not my medium. So on there, I do a lot of consuming, a lot of lurking. I like a lot of posts, but rarely do I actually post anything myself. And there are a lot of different ways to do that, right? I know a lot of people who just blast play to hell on Instagram and barely consume anything because they're like, oh my God, I can use Instagram to get external validation. Let's fucking go. Whereas for me, I'm like, no, no, no. I just want to like sit back and consume and consume and consume. I'm not looking for other people, not looking to connect with other people. I'm not looking to validate my existence. I'm just trying to be and like learn new shit and just do me. Do me, brah. Then we got sleep. So sleep is my fourth animal. I realized that I just went in my own animal order. Ha-cha-cha. Sleep is your OI and your DI. So sleep is marrying the two human needs of certainty and self significance. So this is that sort of like internal processing. It's going over known information, going deeper on a particular topic or idea or system or plan or pattern or whatever for self understanding. So a lot of people who have low sleep find an enormous amount of value in therapy, talking it out with people, right? Where it's like, it's hard for me to process this shit on my own. Like, I need a wall to throw this ball against, right? And I do that all the time on my personal Facebook page. Even honestly on here, like a lot of my videos, it's me doing sleep processing out loud so that I can fulfill all of the human needs at once. So it's like, all right, it's easier for me to fulfill the human need of, external validation. So I need to set up an environment where that is possible, where it isn't just pure introspection. But then I can do that within that context. I'm like, oh, great. So I have a little uncertainty because I don't know where this is going to go, but I know what I'm talking about. And I've set up the rules. And I've created this nice safe space for my OI and my DI to hang out together and to do shit together. And that's what sleep is. Sleep wants to go real deep, real deep. And it is not looking for chaos, and it's not looking for tribe validation. One of my favorite examples of a lead sleep is Jerry Seinfeld. Love Jerry Seinfeld as an example of lead sleep because he is not only lead sleep, he is lead sleep and play last. So if you want to learn about sleep energy, watch Jerry. Because there's the video that Shay brings up all the time. It's so fucking perfect. I gotta bring it up too. It's where Jerry is at some red carpet something, and then Kesha comes up to him and it's like, "Oh my god, you're Jerry Seinfeld. Can I get a picture? Or like, can I hug you?" And he's like, "No, thanks." He's like, "But I want to hug you." He's like, "No, that's okay." He's just like, "That is chaos. That is tribe weirdness. No, I'm good. I'm just going to do me." And if you watch his latest special, I think it's called 23 Hours to Kill or 24 Hours to Kill. It's one of the two. The 23 Hours to Kill? Yeah, okay. So it is 23 Hours to Kill. That makes sense. If you watch that newest stand-up special, it sounds like it was written in 1992. Like it's not, none of his insights are new at this point in his life. He's not discovering some new truth of the universe. And he's kind of going, but it's new material in the sense that the jokes themselves are new, but the concepts and the ideas, and it's all, one of the things that he said, I think this was in a Reddit AMA. I think it was a Reddit AMA. People were talking about how like Seinfeld's a show about nothing. And then one of the commenters was like, "You know what? I know people say that. I don't think that's true. I think Seinfeld is a show that deconstructs social mores in an attempt to point out how silly and arbitrary these social rules are." And Jerry was like, "Nailed it. You got it. That is what Seinfeld is about. Period." It has nothing to do with nothing, right? The whole show is about, there's the what is it? It's where Jerry starts dating somebody and he can't remember her name, and the social mores dictate that at this point in their relationship, he's not allowed to ask for her name, and he like tries to find ways to get her to accidentally reveal her name so that he can know what her name is, and then everybody can just move on with their lives. And the one clue that he has is that that it rhymes with a female body part. And so he again, his lead sleep, he's like, "Well, I could just ask. I could just engage with the tribe and do any amount of play energy. Nope, not my responsibility. I'm going to concoct a scenario in which she accidentally divulges it." And he guesses these terrible names. And finally she was like, "You don't know my name, do you?" He's like, "Of course I know your name." She's like, "All right, what's my name? Right now, what is my name?" And he goes, "Mulva?" And then of course she storms out. And then the button of the whole episode is he's like, goes to the window, opens it up, and shouts out, "Dolores!" It's a great fucking episode. But I bring up that whole anecdote because it's such a great example of sleep energy refusing to engage with the tribe. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what it is. It's not my responsibility to find out. It's not my responsibility to gather. It's not my responsibility to talk to this other person. I need to be able to figure it out myself. And again, in his case, it's NI and TI. But again, that's sleep, right? I don't want to expend energy. Whereas play is I'm going to expend energy until I'm blue in the face and then have a massive wreck my life in the opposite direction, right? So again, these are small stakes. It's a sitcom. This is not real life. But he has all of these like mini wreck my life kind of moments in these episodes because here's the thing. What makes Seinfeld weirdly brilliant, And this has to be intentional. This has to be intentional because Jerry Seinfeld is not a stupid man. He's extraordinarily smart and understands the human condition and American culture on a deep, deep level. Every problem in Seinfeld, and this is true for all sitcoms, generally speaking, but particularly on Seinfeld, every problem can be solved with play energy and by just communicating and being open to being surprised and expressing how you feel, right? And again, in his case, the SF of like, listen, this is what I'm feeling right now. Like, if he had just said, if he didn't try to be weird about it, if he was like, listen, this is extraordinarily awkward. I like you a lot, and I just have no idea what your name is. I have no idea. And if that's a deal breaker, fine. I understand. But I really do like you. And I actually strangely do see this maybe even going somewhere. And so I just want to get it out of the way now before this goes further. I don't actually know what your name is. And then she can respond however she's going to respond. But at least he's opening up the door to, oh my God, thank you for actually admitting that. My name is Dolores. Episode over. Series over. Like, then I was like, all right, great. He marries Dolores, and then we all live happily ever after. Right? So, just to tie all this together, when we're talking about marrying these two human needs together with the functions and turning these functions into animals, what's important to remember is that everybody has 4 functions, which means that everybody has 4 human needs. And everybody has 4 ways to fulfill each of those 4 human needs. So if I need to fulfill the need of tribe validation, I have 2 choices. I can either blast like I'm doing right now, or I can play, all right? I can text some friends. I can, make more of a play video. I can set up a time so that like people know they can show up. We can do a thing, right? Both of those are ways to fulfill the human need of tribe validation. Conversely, if I was like, I just need to like work on me, well, there are 2 ways I can do that. I can either tie the human need of significance and identity to gathering new shit, trying new things, right? Do a little consume, in my case, the SF consume. Or I can go the other direction and say, you know what? I don't need any new shit. I have plenty here. I just need to go over it more deeply, understand it more, really process what I already have and what I've already been working on and my plan and what makes sense to me. That's me doing sleep. So the difference between functions and animals is that animals are just tying 2 functions together. And so really that comes down to functions are just a manifestation of a particular human need: connection, DE, significance, DI, certainty, OI, and uncertainty, OE. It's just marrying 2 of those human needs together, and it's giving us more options about how we get our needs met. Because at the end of the day, that's it. We're all just trying to get our needs met. I got needs. You got needs. Maybe we can collaborate and get all of our needs met, right? Many a great relationship has been between a lead play and a lead sleep. #shave, right? And yes, they're both growth mindset, and yes, they're compatible, logistically to live in the same place, whatever, similar backgrounds, I guess. But on an OP level, they provide incredible triangulation for each other, where it's like, they talk a lot about if it's a decider issue, then if Dave's not allowed, so Shannon is not allowed to freak out about decider issues, right? Dave is not allowed to freak out about observer issues. if Shannon freaks out about an observer issue, about a thing issue, about a printer, about a this, about a thing, a system, a plan, a whatever, control chaos, if Shan freaks out about it, okay, then it is real. Then it's a real thing. And conversely, Shannon is not allowed to freak out about decider issues and tribe shit. But if Dave's freaking out, if he's like, yo, that guy, he's a fucking asshole, then it's like, okay, you know what? If Dave says that this guy is an asshole, then I know that it's not just me being a decider weirdo and having a freak out. Right? So that kind of triangulation is so, so important, not only for business, for life, for everything. You need that kind of triangulation in the absence of, and in addition to, quite frankly, your own self-development, which is why it doesn't matter if you type yourself upside down. You're gonna have to hit all of the animals and the human needs at some point. So if you're just starting out, just track your behavior, right? Who do you talk to? How do you feel? Monitor it. And then over the course of 2 weeks, right after 2 weeks of like self-monitoring, being like, oh yeah, I did this thing when I talked to this person, I talked to that person, I talked to people a lot. Holy hell, right? Then, it's that's enough data to be like, you know what, I think I am DE. Okay, so then in the interest of growth, I need to work on my DI, right? And then for me, if it's like, boy, you just keep doing the same shit, like you got a routine and breaking your routine is hard. It's like, wow, I'm looking at these last 2 weeks and boy, it is just, you wake up at this time and then you do this and then you do this and then you do this and then at 4:00 you do this and then you do this and then you eat this and then you go to bed and do that every day for 2 weeks. That sounds like the human need of certainty, sir. That sounds like the human need of certainty. So I can go, okay, great. After 2 weeks of self-monitoring, I'm like, you know what? I got to mix it up a little bit. I think I'm doing that, but like we can do it a little bit more. So that's sort of my blaster lesson on the difference between animals and functions. And really, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning. A function is just half an animal. The animals are really the bread and butter of objective personality. And it's just about marrying these two human needs together in 4 different combinations. And that's, again, flexing all these different muscles. That's going to make it so that you can get through the world easier. And also when it does come time to self-reflect, you can go, okay, I know that my default wiring is that these are the 2 human needs that I tend to over prioritize. So I'm now going to make a point to do the other 2 as often as I can. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.